This is a fun exercise in draft philosophy as much as it is actually evaluating the player himself. Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys. We get you ready for the NFL draft. And we do so by offering up three things. Three guys, three stars who the Dallas Cowboys should not pick. Now, one of these is philosophical, and we're going to start with that one. And part of this philosophy that we're going to deal with here is don't take any more injury risks. Don't take any more character risks. You don't need to, do you? Sometimes, obviously, there's great rewards in doing so. You get the guy, you get this talented guy later than he might have otherwise gone if he didn't have a character issue or a motor issue or an injury issue. And so we go into this exercise with the idea, don't do that. Don't take that guy. Don't take those guys. The draft is almost here. The 12-5 season is behind us, as I know many of you think it should be behind us because it sucked so bad. And now you're going to try to score and improve on that roster. You have not done that, obviously, so far in free agency. This is not a better roster than it was. But it can be. I mean, it can be. And the next step for that is the draft. Here's the first steer away. Guy number one. And this is food for thought. Thibodeau, maybe the best player in the draft. He thinks so. He says so. The Oregon edge rusher. Now, he's going to be long gone by 24. Surely, right? But nevertheless, for the purpose of this evaluation, let's just assume that somehow that guy's there. I know. The Cowboys are going to have him as the number 5 player on their board or the number 3, but the team that does pick him better know what Dane Brugler and others tell us about him. A motor. A fully driven Thibodeau style player would be incredible here. But this player comes with questions about motivation and drive. Here's what Dane wrote about him. Thibodeau, he should improve the consistency in which he disengages and play with high effort, motor, and emotional endurance, meaning he doesn't do that. That's bad. Really want to take that guy first overall? Yes, I really would take him at 24. But philosophically, I'm saying, not that guy. You know who that sounds a lot like is Clowney. And the last time I looked, Clowney, who was at the very top of his draft too, and who has drawn comparisons in terms of talent to Thibodeau, he's a free agent again, and we're a month into free agency, and he doesn't have a deal again. There's a reason for that. Guy number 2. Here's another controversial one. By the way, all 3 of these are controversial. These are not meant for you to automatically agree with. These are food for thought. Maybe I'm even being a bit of a contrarian, just for the fun of it. Jameson Williams. Brugler and others are talking about just it's hard to know where he's going to go, largely because of the injury thing. Tore his ACL in the championship game in January. He talks about being ready for training camp. I don't know. Chris Mortensen, the great NFL reporter, is now saying he's going to be a top 10 guy. There's people saying that the Eagles might go trade up to get him. And Mortensen specifically mentions the Falcons, who draft 8 and who need a wide receiver desperately. And it's interesting that Mort knows the Falcons, if you know what I mean. He's not making that up when he talks Falcons. He has real insight there at the very top of the Falcons power structure. Jameson Williams, maybe he goes 8th. Maybe they should draft a quarterback, but that's another story. He was going to be a surefire top 10 pick before the injury. 79 catches, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns. What? But I've already got Michael Gallup, and I don't know when he's coming back. I can't do it again. Not going to do it. I'm going to find another way to do it. And I think I'm serious about that, even at 24. A top 10 talent coming off knee surgery at 24. Guy number 3. Oh, there's number 2. Guy number 3, Derek Stingley Jr. Lack of consistency, Brugler says, and injury stuff, major injury stuff. Took away big parts of his 2020, big parts of his 2021. He can clearly play, but that's not really the argument. But inconsistent and injuries, and then you've got this factor now, and hopefully it goes away. The Kelvin Joseph issue, if it goes away, means I don't really need a cornerback. Not even one that might be rated slots higher than 24. But I really don't need the risk. And now you look at Kelvin Joseph, and again, hopefully, completely innocent, had nothing to do with nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. You got the wrong guy. These things happen. That can happen. Hopefully that's, as sad as we are for the young man who was shot and killed after an altercation that the Cowboys player Joseph was allegedly involved in. Hopefully this is not an issue for the Cowboys. That's certainly your hope in Cowboy Nation. But do I have to get guys with shaky character? Do I have to draft guys with injury histories? Do I have to draft guys who don't have the motor? 24 is high enough to not have to do that. So philosophically, those are 3 big names that we've pinpointed that illustrate 3 important points, I think. Can Stingley play? Of course he can. Consistency issues, injury issues. Can Jameson Williams play? Of course he can. Injury issues. I also think it's notable, as I recall, he was at Ohio State and got lost in the shuffle. Now, I can see why, with all their talent. And, of course, he goes to Alabama and no longer lost in the shuffle. He's a superstar. Alabama has just as much ability to get you lost in the talent shuffle as Ohio State or anybody else, and he emerged and was incredible. But injury. And then Thibodeau. Somebody is going to draft him 3rd or 5th or 2nd or whatever, or 1st or something, and I fear that they're going to have what they had. In fact, the Texans, I bet you have this fear, that they're going to have Clowney all over again. I don't think the Cowboys, even though they've had some rewards for this. Sean Lee, a reward. Kinda, right? Kinda. Maybe not enough of one, as much as we love Sean Lee. Leighton Vander Esch, kind of a reward, but maybe not enough as one. 2 injury risk guys. They did the so-called character risk on Dez. Worked out well enough. But they've done this with Randy Gregory. In the end, did Randy Gregory character risk, or whatever you want to call it, did it really work? Spent half a decade here and had 1 decent season and turned it into a contract that caused him to leave here. Well within his rights to do that. Under Jerry Jones, certainly, the Cowboys seem to have an attraction to doing this. Jalen Smith? Maybe there's a way to get good players who have good character, who have good motors, who have good injury records. Maybe? Maybe that's what the Cowboys should try at 24. We'll talk Fish at 6, much more about your Dallas Cowboys. Thanks you for subscribing to us here. Thank you for catching us live every weekday morning at 7:20 and 6 p.m. We will do it from Frisco. We'll do it from the Star over the course of the weekend as well. Also, Mavericks playoffs for you. No Luka in game 1. Ouch and out. All that coming up, Fish at 6. Fish out, no ouch.